You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Go follow The Experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
Okay, we're back. Okay, are we good now? Are we good?
We're live. I'll tell you that.
Computers. Robbie, can you still hear us pretty good?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. We're good.
Good. Yeah, guys, we were freaking out like minutes before we're starting. Cause like we can't hear Robbie. We can't hear anything. What's going on? What did I hit? Because we never touched the microphone. We don't do it. BBB. Yeah, Rex and John look different. No, it's me. Hi, I'm Amy, and this is Alex. Alex, please.
Hi guys, I'm Alex. I'm very excited to be here. It's gonna be a great show tonight.
Robbie, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Just had a great week at MegaCon in Orlando. Got to hang out with lots of fun people. And super excited to be here, especially that Rex and John are not here. So that's awesome.
We're gonna make this. It's gonna be the greatest show of all time, and we'll see how this goes. We'll see if it sticks. But hi to everyone in the chat. Preston, Mr. Easy Go Lucky, John Spilios is here. TJ James is here. Hello.
Shout out to 360 Comics. He's watching.
Yes. Kenneth Bird's here. Hello. So what else happened at MegaCon, Robbie?
Yeah,
MegaCon was great. I'm sorry, what was that?
What did you enjoy most about MegaCon?
Hanging out with my buddy, John Spiliotopoulos. That was my favorite thing about MegaCon. Hanging out with him and a bunch of other people. Bueller was there. I got to meet Comic Tom in person for the first time.
Awesome.
Made lots of cool connections. Some artists, got to hang out and talk a little bit with Joshua Williamson. I got to meet Frank Miller, which was like a big treat for me. But it was great. So we're just running around telling everybody, who we are, what we do. We mentioned the experience to a lot of people. The Reanimator Kickstarter we got going on. Me and Bueller got on the stage, did a little impromptu panel. It was just great. Good times with good friends and good people.
That's awesome.
That I'm jealous now. You guys all got to hang out.
It was a busy con weekend. Half the dealers were split between MegaCon, and the other half were at C2E2.
I know, and even with the C2E2 going on at the same time, they were reporting like 150,000 people on Saturday alone. It was a madhouse on Saturday.
MegaCon, the guest list for MegaCon was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah. And they had all those celebrities too, like Sam Raimi, Carl Weathers, Rosario Dawson, Charlie Cox. My buddy waited like 7 hours to meet John Bernthal. So there you go.
MegaCon, it's a fan expo show, so all those people usually have a contract, so you'll be seeing them again for fan expo shows throughout the country.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to go to more of them, for sure.
Did you bring your award to show people? That's from Marcus. What does that mean?
He might be talking about my comic book, best comic book review award. It's back there somewhere. It's always back there. So I'm proud of that. So it is back there. I can grab it on the break if you need me to, but it's
okay. We're definitely gonna have to see it at some point. Now we talked about it. Looking for one big party going on at MegaCon from the footage I've seen.
Fonz was there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Henry Winkler was at. He's been doing a bunch of MegaCons, a bunch of fan expos.
Oh, nice. Dave Cerrone says it's hectic. Jen King's on. Hi, Jen.
Yeah, I went up there Saturday. Like Bueller even told me, he was like, I don't even know if I'm going to really be here much on Saturday. And I understand why, because I went in there and you could barely move. I was trying to find David Boer, and I was like, okay, I'm giving up. I'm just going to go wait for Frank Miller. And that's how I wound up first in line to meet Frank Miller. So that was awesome.
Who would you say had the biggest line that you saw at the show?
Biggest line that I saw at the show was probably I don't know. Is there somebody, he's like a voice actor named Chris Sabat or something like that? He had a huge, insane line. And then, of course, John Bernthal had a big line. Rosario Dawson had a huge line. Sam Raimi had a constant huge line.
Not surprising.
Yeah, so those ones for sure. And then Frank Miller tabled for like an hour, I think, on Saturday, and they said that his line was ridiculous. Now, I did the VIP experience, so I didn't have to wait and all that. No, I got to go to a panel. It was a panel with him, Simone Bianchi, and Andy Kubert. They were talking about 300 because it was the 25th anniversary. And then I got to take a picture with Frank and meet him, and it was such a great time. Frank Miller, to me, is like one of the living legends of comics. There's hardly anybody alive today, I think, that is more influential on comic books than Frank Miller. That was an honor, absolutely honor.
Like I said, I'm jealous, but I'm glad to hear you had a good time. Glad to hear everybody had a good time who was there.
Yeah, we had a blast, and I saw somebody in the comments say it seemed like one big party. It was one big party, but we all were working hard at the same time. But we are all having a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And me and Bueller got to go on the world's tallest, like, swinging thing or whatever. It was 450 feet in the air. We got to go do that together. So that was an experience.
Ooh.
I'll have to make sure I go next year. But who the heck knows?
As long as it's not the same weekend as C2E2.
I'm glad you're here now, because I will have no idea of keeping these weekends straight.
No, Reed Pop likes to make things very interesting, especially that first weekend. When you had to book McCormick in Chicago for years in advance, it wasn't really their choice, but it was definitely. I know a bunch of dealers that had to split between MegaCon and C2E2. So I hope the dealers that did split did well at both shows.
Cool. All right, do we want to get started? But I think you've seen our lineup today.
I have.
You like what we got today?
I'm very excited.
Robbie, you like what we got today?
Yes, very much so. You have some friends of mine on the list today, so that's always fun.
All right. I guess as normal, we'll start off with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. We have it every show. It's 10 randomly picked Dynamite titles. And while it's usually MSRP $40, we just have it for $5 because it's a great way to start. If you want to get into comics, a great way to start, especially with Dynamite. But yeah, let's take that picture, for example. Nix, Vampirella, Sweetie, John Carter.
Wait, the whole pack's $5?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow. Regular covers, but yeah. One set, $5. You can get as many as you want.
It's a great intro.
Yeah, it's a great intro, and it's a fantastic thing to do for AOKs. Like, if you want to send some comics out to some people, you can get some cool Dynamite stuff, a variety of it. What I also suggest people do sometimes is, like, next time you're at a doctor's office or dentist office or something, leave some there instead of all those boring 3-year-old magazines to flip through. The next person gets to read some exciting comics.
I like
Not
that.
a bad idea. All right. Jen in the comments was asking about our John Wick book, so we'll start off with that as well. We have John Wick #1 signed by Greg Pak, and MSRP usually $49.99, and today we're slicing it down halfway, so it's going to be $29.99 today.
signed by Greg Pak. That's great. The artist Giovanni Valletta, but like having Greg Pak wrote it, and you can get it, and he wrote it, and get it signed. It's a beautiful cover, nice Keanu Reeves. You can see his impression, and it's signed right above his head, a good spot for signature. Nice classic cover. That is the cover A. I think it's a really good cover. John Wick, of course, very popular at the moment. The movie just came out, so
not the weekend, but the weekend before, right?
Yeah.
Have either of y'all seen it? I still haven't seen it because I was so busy, but I want to. I hear it's fantastic.
I'm a little bit behind too.
But again, I hear it's like I think it's the best John Wick ever.
I heard very good things. I heard very good things about the movie. And Keanu, of course, is amazing. So if you wanted a comic book and have Keanu Reeves on your comic and signed by the writer, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, and then when you run into Keanu Reeves, you can get him to sign it as well. So there you go.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm trying to remember if we had something signed by Keanu Reeves. I can't remember which specifically it was. I don't remember if it was a John Wick or a Berserker.
I think there was they had the Berserker signing.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
We might have one of those, but I think that's for another day.
Keanu Reeves has not done a public signing in a very long time, like a public facing signing in a very long time. So. Those books, sold pretty fast.
I can imagine.
But this is John Wick #1. You can start the story. If you like the movie, you can start the story. In fact, you don't even need to watch the movie. If you want to find out about the character, pick up issue 1. It's already signed.
All right.
It looks like Miss Jen has claimed the John Wick, I believe.
Awesome.
Oh, she did. Because did she just put Wick?
I saw Wick.
Just Wick. Okay. Wick. That's a claim, Jen. I'll put you down. All right.
Awesome.
All right. I think up next we have a Deja Thoris and a John Carter, but we'll show the Deja Thoris #1 first.
So this is signed by Amy Chu, who wrote the issue. Deja Thoris #1 also. It's a beautiful cover. I love that cover. And the signature's in a beautiful place, lower half. Some nice white, and you can clearly see the signature lines. I think that's a beautiful signed book.
Yeah, I really like that cover. It's absolutely stunning and gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. MSRP is $29.99 tonight. We have it at $19.12.
I mean, just to get
a steal.
Just to get Amy Chu's signature is going to be more than that, let alone on a #1 of a cover of a book she wrote. So I think that's a great price, especially because it is a #1. You don't need to know anything about the character. You can pick the book up, start reading it, get into it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you love it, you can read more. But it's issue 1. Start here. Great place to start.
Yeah, people always ask, what's the best place to start? Well, #1. That's the best place to start, right?
Yeah, any #1. Then we also had a John Carter of Mars available, signed by Joseph Michael Linsner. It also has Deja Thoris on the cover. And believe it or not, it's also for the same price. That MSRP is usually $49.99, but again, it's just going to be $19.12.
That Joseph Michael Linsner cover is amazing. Like, that is beautiful art. Like, it's good image, nice, classic. Again, another #1. So you can just start with it. But it's signed by Joseph Michael Linsner and written by Chuck Brown. But that beautiful red on the red cover, especially with the Mars being a red planet, that is the color to get for that book as a signed book. And that is a great signature. Joseph Michael Linsner is awesome. So I definitely recommend this book. Again, another #1. Just pick it up.
Yeah, I would dare you to find a Joseph Michael Linsner cover that did not look amazing. Like absolutely consistent, solid work from that cat.
Marcus wants to know how many times we saw Shazam 2.
I actually did see it, not this weekend, the previous weekend. I finally got to see it.
I saw
not a perfect movie, but I still liked it. I still thought it was fun. I went to see it because I thought the first one was fantastic.
It's fun. It's the most marvelous. Well, not marvelous, Marvel-like DC movie they've done. It's upbeat, it's not gritty, it's fun, and Zachary Levi is just enjoying playing the role. It's just very enjoyable. Plus, as a Philly boy, any movie set in Philadelphia,
yes, I
love. But painful to me to see my Phillies, Cincinnati Park Stadium, be destroyed.
I guess, are we allowed to talk any spoilers or?
It's in the trailer.
Lightly stuff. Well, what you do see in the trailer, they are on the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Oh, that was.
So there's a sequence that takes place there.
That was fun driving over after seeing that movie.
So seeing it in familiar territory is easily one of the best parts about Shazam, and it has that, especially the first one. It has that like 80s PG movie energy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, especially because it's Captain Marvel. It's Shazam. It's a Billy Batson is a boy. He says the word Shazam, he becomes a superhero. I don't know about you, but as a kid, yes, we had Superman, Batman, but I wasn't an alien. I wasn't a millionaire, a billionaire, but I could pretend to say a word and become a superhero. And that's just, if you're not having fun when you watch that movie, you're doing that movie wrong. So I recommend Shazam 2.
So you're saying that in Shazam 2, you got to see your beloved Phillies ballpark get destroyed, right?
I did.
Well, it's about to happen tonight because the Yankees are in town. Just kidding. I think we're actually in New York. Just joking.
Okay, the Phillies are not doing well this season so far, and so we don't talk about
It's still early. Everybody's still got plenty of time, right?
Not when you're the defending national league champions.
Anyway, all right. Marcus is right. Blue Beetle dropped today. Who's seen it?
Oh, did it? I didn't. I was so behind on work today that when I came in, like, it was nonstop. So I didn't even notice. I know that last night there was a Secret Invasion trailer.
I did see that as well.
Yeah, I'm behind on all of it. So how did it look?
Blue Beetle looks fresh.
Looks fresh. Looks fun. The problem is that it looks like it was written a year ago when they were still having problems with superior origin stories. So I just hope it's not just very generic. I hope it does something different. And like there's a ton of superhero origin stories that always come out, but this is DC's chance to have another upbeat character that not many people know about. I'd say, I wouldn't even call him a B-list character. I call him a DC C-list character. I love Blue Beetle, but hopefully having Jaime brings Blue Beetle more to the public knowledge and stuff. And hopefully with Blue Beetle goes along with Booster Gold. We get some blue and gold, but that's down the line. Secret Invasion looked really gritty, looks really dark. And
dark political espionage thriller. I'm like, they could nail it. They could really nail this one.
I think it's what the MCU needs right now. It's something more psychological and cerebral. So I'm excited for this to come out.
Bringing it back down a little bit more grounded, right? Because it seemed like the MCU stuff felt very grounded for a while, and then it just kind of, like everything does, even like when they started the Ultimate Marvel books back in the early aughts, right? Everything was like, oh, this is like Marvel, but it's more real, it's more grounded. But even after like a few years, it just became so convoluted, right? You kind of got to have fresh starts every so often. I think that's one of the reasons why, was it Julie Schwartz who said you got to like reboot like every 10 years? Not reboot necessarily, but you got to have, because you got a new generation of people coming in like every 10 years or so, reading comics, watching movies, things like that. You got to keep it fresh. And one way to do that is to keep it grounded.
I gotcha.
I think having Samuel L. Jackson back.
And I thought about this yesterday. I'm like, he's been in the MCU since the beginning, and this is the first time he's like front and center. Like, that's nuts.
I think it's going to really showcase. He always gives it all, but I think this is really going to, this is full on Nick Fury. Now, which Nick Fury is it? I guess we'll see when the show comes out.
But I mean, I look
see
forward
Bueller
to
in the chat. What's up, Bueller? You're the man. I just want y'all to know that when me and Bueller went up 450 feet in the air, he was a nervous wreck. I handled it perfectly fine, but Bueller came down. He was shaking. He needed a drink. Wait a second. I think I got that backwards. It was the other way around. I'm not going to lie. Bueller was like solid as a rock, and I came down there shaking, just shaking. I was so scared. Bueller kept trying to shake the swing. And I'm like, you need to stop this right now. Because, like, we get on there. You know how, like, swings at the park have those giant, thick, spawn-like chains? These ones had, like, wallet chains. And Bueller pointed it out right as we were about to jump up. And, man, it wrecked me. It wrecked me so bad, y'all. I was terrified. I'm not going to lie. I was terrified.
Well, we're happy you're okay.
Yep, made it just fine. Bueller's like, don't think about the people that have died on it. Think about all the people that have lived.
Focus on the positives.
Exactly.
All right.
James Bond. James Bond's calling my name.
Oh, James Bond. Okay, we'll talk about James Bond then.
Talk about James Bond.
All right, 007, number 1. It's Tommy Lee Edwards premium metal, and it's the Virgin cover, so it's nice and shiny.
It's a metal Virgin James Bond cover. This series is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Philip Kennedy Johnson is amazing. Like, he's such a good writer. I like everything he's done. I've been the past couple of years. I've just loved. Marco Finnegan is the artist. Finnegan is the artist inside, but this book is the metal cover alone. Like, that could be the next James Bond movie poster. You know, it's stylized, but you know, the next movie's got to be a new James Bond. So who knows? But I really like this metal cover. Philip Kennedy Johnson. It's a number 1, of course. You know, I'm gonna pimp the number 1. So number 1, James Bond 007.
I absolutely adore this cover. I think Tommy Lee Edwards is a fantastic artist, and the composition on this is absolutely striking, where you got the silhouette in the background, you got the train with the perspective, right? But then you got Bond right there, and this is really sharp. And the Bond books that y'all have been putting out have been very, very solid. And I can't think of a better writer right now than Philip Kennedy Johnson to portray Bond. He does it really, really well.
I mean, this cover feels like the cover to an Ian Fleming novel. It just does. It's a Virgin, so you won't see 007 in.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, I'd rather see Sniper in the background, James Bond's face, a fast train ride, metal cover.
Who would you want to see as the next Bond? Someone new, or someone, or at least up and coming, or what?
That is a.
I know it's a tall request.
Put me on the spot. I mean, Idris Elba's a little bit too old at this point, but it would be nice to see at least one Idris Elba James Bond movie. People were thinking Tom Hiddleston, but what I think they need to do is pull an unknown, pull someone not a major star, and build into a major star.
I think I agree with that.
Because Daniel Craig did 5 movies. So
he was still up and coming, but then Bond launches him into the stratosphere.
So the next Bond should be at least a 4-movie
market. Why Mr. Bean.
Listen,
I'd like to see Mr. Bean as James Bond. That would be hilarious.
I really enjoyed the Daniel Craig run. I really did.
How much is the James Bond, by the way?
Oh, you're right. I mean, our metal covers are usually MSRP is 100, but today we're keeping it at half price. It's just 50.
50 for an wow. And you know the metal covers, as they are metal, they are high grade. So you are, I believe, more apt to get, of course, 9.6s, 9.8s at least on metal covers. So $50 metal cover. That sounds great. Plus it's James Bond. It looks great. So.
Then the other we have one other metal today. We have Project Superpowers Fractured States #1, and this is the Gary Frank premium metal Virgin cover. Look at that. Like, you wouldn't guess it's Project Superpowers because of the dinosaur, but it is Project Superpowers.
That looks, I mean, it's almost like a Godzilla almost-esque homage. Of course, Godzilla will be much bigger, but what I like about this, though, is not even on the cover. This is written by Ron Mars and Andy Lanning. Like, what a great team-up. Ron Mars and Andy Lanning on this. So Project Superpowers Fractured States #1. The metal cover is just cool. It's just really cool. It's got a green hue. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's the colorist on this? Because the coloring is phenomenal on this issue, or on that cover.
I have Emilio Utrera. I believe that is at least the internal artist.
And this is 50 as well. Like the James Bond cover.
Very
metal
nice.
cover, great.
JD is right. If you guys have never seen the movie Layer Cake, it is phenomenal. Layer Cake. I think that's a Matthew Vaughn film. The guy who did I think he did Kick-Ass, and I know he did he was a producer of all those Guy Ritchie films like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. So it's kind of like in the vein of that. It's got the guy who played Miles O'Brien in it, and in like a gangstery role, and it's a really good movie. If nobody's ever checked it out, Layer Cake.
Nerdtastic news. I say cast in an unknown Bond. They're rounding out the universe with others like Idris Elba, like Olivia Colman, and others. Okay.
You know who Idris Elba could play perfectly, and he could play it for 20 more movies? M. Idris Elba as M. If you don't want to go the Bond route, he could be M. That would be phenomenal.
I would.
That'd be cool.
I would like that.
We just want Idris in a Bond movie, no matter what.
We do.
What if he's a bit like what about a villain?
He'd be awesome. Do you remember? Like, everybody's got their problems with the Fast movies, but he's awesome as the villain in Hobbs and Shaw. Like, I think he's amazing. He's like, I'm Black Superman, and he's like got that suit on. It's so awesome. It could be in anything. I'd be cool with it. They could be like, we're recasting Spider-Man and Iron Man and Captain America. All three are going to be played by Idris Elba. I'd be there first thing.
And he actually, Star Trek Beyond, he was actually really good as the Klingon. Now, of course, lots of makeup, and he didn't have too much screen time, but he was the main villain. He did really well for that movie.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys. Doesn't matter. We'll watch him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. In fact, if let's just say Taika Waititi did any movie that had Idris Elba and Oscar Isaac in, that would be sexy overload, and I couldn't handle myself. So.
Ooh, wow.
I don't think I could do that either.
that would make something.
Oh boy.
And we're just giving these ideas out for free, Hollywood. Just take them, Just take them, and we'll be there.
We won't even get mad, or at least send us free tickets. Maybe that.
I'd like to see Idris Elba as M in a Bond movie, and I'd like to see Oscar Isaac as the villain. That's what I want to see.
Just not Apocalypse.
He would have done a great job as Apocalypse if they would have had a good script attached to it, right?
Yeah.
I don't hate that movie. I genuinely don't hate that movie. I'm like, it moves. It keeps me entertained.
He did the best he could with what he was given.
Here's the question then. If you didn't know anything about the X-Men or Apocalypse, right, and your only Apocalypse knowledge comes from that movie, what do you think his powers are? He just makes rocks float? Like, I have no idea what he's doing in that movie at all.
His powers is the uncanny ability to look just like Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, ooze, you lose.
Every person on the planet said when that picture came out. But again, I don't hate that movie. I don't. As long as the movie entertains me, I can't call it bad. I mean, if it really is just poorly made, I'll admit it. But sometimes movies are so bad they're good.
Yeah, I really liked the Storm in that one, and I think they did Angel fine, because I think that Storm's been kind of up and down in those X-Men movies, but I liked that interpretation of Storm.
I think Olivia Munn was perfect as Psylocke for those 4 seconds she was on the screen, and that was it.
Yeah, right. She went on. They didn't give her much to do, so.
Dwayne's and Payne says Apocalypse was serviceable. That's not too bad a way to call it. Again, I just liked it. Like, I was entertained. It kept the story kept moving. I wasn't bored. So that's good for me. Oh, it's 6:30 already. So I guess, Robbie, I'm gonna let you pick the next book. So while we're on break, you think about what you want to see next, okay?
You got it.
All right. See you in a minute. Is JD paying attention? Or
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
What you were saying, I did hear. We're back. So Robbie, did you pick a book?
I sure did. One of my buddies that I got to hang out and chat with a little bit this weekend, and I was glad to meet him for the first time in person, was Josh Williamson, who is an absolute fantastic writer, current writer on Superman. It's doing very well at my shop. He's got Green Arrow on the way. He's very excited for that. So I got to chat with him, meet with him in person, and he's got Flash 750 signed here tonight, and I'm excited for that.
All right, yes. Flash number 750, signed in silver by Josh Williamson. MSRP usually $69.99, and tonight it's 5-star for $50.
So, major Flash milestone issue, 750. Major issue. Just like number 1, but even better because there's so much story. Again, you can just drop into this issue because usually major milestone issues, they just want you to read. Number 1. Number 2. 80-page giant, a ton of content. There are 6 different writers on this issue, including Jeff Johns and Marv Wolfman. So just those 2 alone, Jeff Johns writing on the Flash story alone should get you in this book. Not only that,
it's a really good, like the way that it kind of goes through Flash's history with all the different creators involved and all the different Flashes that they utilize. It's a perfect encapsulation of the history of the Flash family.
Not only that, but this is signed by Josh. Only 30 copies you'll sign by Josh. So you will have only one of 30 copies of this book signed by Josh. Definitely a good deal. I mean, how much does it cost to get Josh's signature, go to a convention, to meet him, to do all that work? And here it's already signed, the Dynamic Forces COA, ready to go, shipped right to your house. Beautiful signature, right on the good spot, right under the 750. I mean, this is definitely a good book to get if you're a Flash fan.
Yeah, and if you've never read the Josh Williamson run in its entirety, it is one of the best runs of the Flash. It's up there with Mark Waid. It's up there with Jeff Johns. It is absolutely fantastic.
I highly recommend this. I mean, if you're any Flash fan and you haven't read it in a while, there's a lot of things that have been going on since 2016 Rebirth. There's been the introductions of all new forces, the speed. I mean, it's not to do with the strength force, all these new things. But issue 750 basically goes back, gets you up to speed with what's going on, takes you forward, gets you into the Flash's head. And it's issue 750. You know, not many DC books have made it to 750. You know, action, Batman, Detective, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. So these major milestone books, you know, and this is more than a normal milestone. You know, you have 250, 500, 750 for Flash. There's a ton of good stuff. So I definitely recommend this. Again, 6 different writers in the story, including Jeff Johns and Marv Wolfman. So that alone should make you pick up the book.
All right. You wanted to talk about the slabs next?
I do. Let's talk about the slabs. I'm very excited. I love CGC. I love doing things with CGC. I love their slabs. And the Black Adam number 1, 9.8. It's a 9.8. It's already slabbed for you. You don't have to go buy the book off the wall. You don't have to submit the CGC. You don't have to wait a month and a half to get it back. You don't have to look at the slab and deal with quality control, send it back. You don't have to ship it anywhere. Just buy it in a 9.8 right here.
Black Adam number 1, the Lucio Perillo variant, CGC grade 9.8. Usually $99.99 tonight. We have a 5-star for $50.
See, this is a little bit like a Dynamite invades DC because it's got Lucio Perillo on the cover. It's written by Christopher Priest. These are two of the best creators working at Dynamite right now on Black Adam, doing some interesting stuff with the structure in Black Adam and introducing a new character as well. That's pretty cool.
Plus, I mean, it's a CGC 9/8 #1 variant for $50. You know,
you keep rooting for the number ones. Number one.
But I really like that cover too. I mean, it's obviously the Rock was Black Adam in the recent movie. This is not based off the Rock's image, just the original image of Black Adam. But just seeing him right in the cover with lightning in the back, that's a great Black Adam cover. You know, $50, a slab 9/8, already ready to go.
The other CGC we have is Animal Castle. Animal Castle #1. That's also graded a 9.8. MSRP is $89.99, and tonight we have it for $69.99.
Xavier Dorson, Felix the Lip. Animal Castle. This is a great story. It's definitely not superhero based, so it'll bring out some interesting plot points. I definitely recommend it. I have a good feeling about this. I mean, for the future, I definitely see this being picked up by something in the next few years. I enjoyed this. It was definitely, I mean, I read it and it was definitely fun to read. But this is, you don't have to read this. You can display this awesome issue #1. This is a good investment piece because I do believe that this will be picked up at some point. So for $70 and 9/8 of this issue 1, we're good to go. Thomas said he'll snag the Black Adam.
All right, Thomas, I'll get you down.
But again, the 9/8 already slabbed, ready to go. $70.
Yeah, when Animal Castle came out, it was one I actually slept on, and then everybody in the chats was mentioning it, and it became, for my shop, a little bit of a sleeper hit. So we sold through, and I wasn't able to actually go through and find it and reread it, but a lot of hype has been built up around this book for sure.
I mean, I think it's the biggest book that the publisher of Blaze has put out so far. So I'm excited to see what they do next. But I think this book definitely has legs to move in the future.
Blaze does some cool work too. They got some really good books out there.
All right, we have a few special books that you really want to talk about. So
this is what I'm most excited about today.
Let's jump in. Which Star Wars book would you like to start with?
She said the magic word. She said Star Wars. So you know how that makes me feel. This is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Jabba's Palace. I believe it's Jabba #1.
Jabba's Palace #1. Yes.
This deals with during Episode 6, beginning Return of the Jedi, when R2-D2 and C-3PO first go to Jabba's palace. They get hired, and C-3PO notices another droid being tortured. Well, this is the story of ADM, the droid that was destroyed before C-3PO got there, to give C-3PO his job. But this book is the one in, which one is it? This is the, let's do the big one first.
It's the 1 in 100. It's the Ryan Brown Virgin cover. Out there's the picture. I was worried there for a second, but yes, it's the Ryan Brown Virgin variant.
The story itself is great. I mean, the story itself fills in some gaps, fills in some holes in Episode 6 lore. But besides that, Return of the Jedi, for its 40th anniversary, is having all these different one-shots come out. And this is the first one. This book, the 1 in 100 Virgin variant, is on fire. Beautiful Jabba cover. I mean, that's one of the best drawn, actually physically drawn Jabbas that I've ever seen. And you have ADM, that new droid, right in the front, with our buddy Salacious Crumb right on the right. But most important thing, this is a 1 in 100 Ryan Brown Virgin cover.
And it's $200 tonight.
That is a great price. I looked to see what's active, and that's probably one of the best prices you can get the book for. Mark Guggenheim, Alessandro Miracolo. I mean, they did really good in this. It definitely feels like a Return of the Jedi era book. So at least to read the book, I definitely recommend it. But this Jabba the Hutt cover, there's not many Jabba the Hutt covers. There's not. So if you're a fan, I highly recommend this.
I read this one, and I don't read a lot of Star Wars comics, right? But I did read this one because it's a one shot, so you don't have to read anything else. It's tied directly into that movie. I love seeing the backstory of this droid, right? And there's a cool, interesting little story. It's very intriguing because there's lots of different things going on in the story. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I enjoyed this one. And Marvel is putting out so many Star Wars books now that a lot of shops are starting to slide down their numbers a little bit. And while you do that, sometimes that means that less shops will order 100 to qualify for it. So this is one of those cases where the 1 in 100 Star Wars variant is going to be more rare than a typical one has been lately.
Especially on a one-shot for a specific character, because unless you're actively reading all Star Wars books, why pick this Jabba the Hutt over Ewoks or Lando or Stormtroopers? So the character-focused collectors are going to really enjoy this. So stores definitely aren't ordering 100 copies of this just to get this. Because at this point, there is about 8 or 9 active Star Wars books. So to keep up with everything, you got to be reading a lot. But I will say, this adds a lot to canon, and it includes the first comic book appearance of 2 characters, including a Star Wars character named Bane Malar, who we've already seen in live action, but this is his first actual comic book appearance. So while I don't think the hype for the characters is there, as in speculation, I think just the cover alone as a Jabba book is worth the price.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who, including me, I remember being a kid watching Return of the Jedi, and the most intriguing part to me was everything in Jabba's palace, right? And that was a world that we wanted to see fleshed out a whole lot more. And then that cover on top of it, you're right, that cover is absolutely striking. And I would agree, it's one of the best representations of Jabba outside of the movies or the original toy or the Phantom Menace toy that had the slime come out of its mouth. Do you remember that? That was a great toy.
I mean, as a Star Wars comic guy, I believe there's only 4 or 5 Jabba the Hutt comic series, including the old Dark Horse Hutt Gambit. But there's not many Marvel canon stuff besides the Age of Rebellion, I think it was Jabba. So in the past 5 years, this is only really your second chance to have a nice Jabba cover. And to be honest, the first cover doesn't look as realistic as this one does. So this is what I pick as probably the best Jabba the Hutt cover, to be honest, probably ever actually put into art in a published comic book.
Do you want to talk about the other Jabba's Palace cover that we have?
I do, and I'm equally excited about this one because Alex Maleev is amazing. Not only that, it's Boba Fett. Boba Fett, one of the greatest, most mysterious, at least in the past, Star Wars characters there can be. Let alone Boba Fett's on a white cover with Jabba's palace in the background. I mean, the stylization of this cover alone is just beautiful. It's beautiful. How much is it?
MSRP is $65, but tonight we have it at 5-star $450.
A 1 in 25 Maleev.
And Boba we actually now the brown version we only have 1, but this one there's 4. We have 4 of these, so more than one person can have this variant if they would like. But it's 50 each.
We've talked about Maleev on the show before, and I mentioned that, I first came aware of his work when he was doing Sam and Twitch with Brian Michael Bendis, and then they jumped on to Daredevil together, and I have been nothing but impressed with this dude's work. I got to meet him way back in 2002 in Chicago, but the composition, as CJ is talking about here, oh my goodness, do you remember when there were these minimalistic, I don't know if they were Mondo or whatever, but there were these new posters they did for the original trilogy, and they were very minimalistic. This reminds me of those because you got the 2 moons, you got the palace outline, and then just Alex doing what he does best, and that's just fantastic.
I mean, I think the Boba Fett on the white makes it really pop. Now, without spoilers, Boba Fett is in the issue, but he's a very, very small role. So this is mainly for the cover, but that is one of the. I mean, again, I like Star Wars books a lot, but I can tell you for a fact, there's not many recent lifelike Boba Fett covers, and this is definitely one of the more recent, better lifelike Boba covers.
Oh wow, JD's comment.
Yeah. Newer Boba Fett is a little bit not as what wasn't expected of Boba Fett. We want to see Mando Boba Fett like he was in season 2, not Book of Boba Fett. That being said, this is Boba Fett as Boba Fett.
whenever you have a character whose entire mystique is based on mystery and like not knowing anything about who the character is, regardless of how you fill those holes, right? It's going to be disappointing to people. Like, think about Wolverine. Like, everybody like had this idea of Wolverine, but when they revealed his true origin, you're like, oh, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But like, this does capture what that feeling was like when you first saw that action figure and you're like, I got to go see the next Star Wars movie because this dude looks BA.
So this is the Alex Maleev 1 in 25 variant. I definitely recommend this.
We have 4 of them available for 50 each. So do we want to do the last Star Wars book, or do we want to do a quick Amy aftermath of what we've covered so far? When Rex is here, it's the Rex Cap. When it's me, it's the Amy aftermath. You guys called it that last time I was here.
Let's throw in the last Star Wars book, and we can finish that thing up.
All right.
Cool. Awesome.
So the last Star Wars book we have for today is Star Wars: The Mandalorian #1, signed by Rodney Barnes. MSRP is $39.99, and tonight we have it for $29.99.
Star Wars: Mandalorian #1, the biggest Star Wars phenomenon in years. I mean, I'd say The Mandalorian is. I mean, there's more hype for The Mandalorian than there was for Rise of Skywalker. But this is the best Star Wars content that has come out since Disney bought Star Wars. Well, Rogue One was amazing. But The Mandalorian, this issue tells the entire first episode in comic form. It's great. It goes over all the story beats. But on top of that, the cover is just so iconic. Seeing Din Djarin in his armor with the Razor Crest behind him, with the setting suns, is just beautiful. Not only that, it's signed out of 460 by Rodney Barnes. Only 460 copies of this. So the Adi Grenoff cover looks amazing. Again, another Mandalorian. Again, what is it with Mandalorians with white and red backgrounds that we just saw? But
I was about to say, if you're a fan of the Mandalorians and Boba Fett and all that stuff, this is a great 2-piece to like have hanging up, right? Like both of those would look really nice next to each other.
Especially because, the armor. I mean, they're realistic style drawings as opposed to more cartoon comic book stylized. So the covers, having them in their almost live action pose just really makes the book pop even more than the later covers that came out. I enjoyed the cover issue 1 more than the other covers. Mando 1 has been claimed.
All right, Jeff Wedding, it is yours.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. So, all right. Let's do a quick Amy aftermath. So, one of the first things we talked about, I'm just going to go down my list, but still available, Flash number 750, signed in silver by Josh Williamson. The MSRP is $69.99, but tonight we have it at 5-star for $50. We still have Deja Thoris #1, Atlas Signature Edition available, signed by Amy Chu. We have it available for $19.12.
And again, all these comics do come with the official Dynamic Forces COA. So
you are correct.
You're getting the leader of the signature series in the comic book industry, Dynamic Forces, getting their COAs. They're all legit, amazing, great. These books are beautiful, and they're signed.
And then John Carter of Mars #1 is still available, signed by Joseph Michael Linzer. And that is also available for $19.12 tonight. Animal Castle #1, CGC 9.8, MSRP $89.99. Tonight is $69.99, still available. Todd D, first time here, how do we pay for stuff? Just put in the chat what would you like to claim. And then I don't know if the link was put up yet, but you hit the link and it takes you to a fill out form. And once you fill out the form, it gets sent to me and Rex, and we send you an invoice tomorrow.
And again, we have these slabs available. Just remember, how much would it cost to go find the book in good condition? Have to submit to CGC. You're paying for shipping there. You're paying for shipping back. You got to deal with all this stuff just to have the book come back and send it in for quality control. The book is already slabbed in a 9.8, ready to go. pay costs and shipping, and it'll be right to your doorstep.
Or Hamey or hurts us. I like to tell people, please fill out their form because it helps us organize who bought what and when. And we need your info. You put all your info on that, your shipping info and your real name and your username and your email. Because if I have no way to contact you or no shipping, like you don't get your stuff. So
plus, if we type it in for you, I'm not saying mistakes will be made, but if you type it in, you're the one entering the information out. So it makes it really easy for everybody because you're filling out the information. You're letting us all know the right data points to make sure that you get your book.
All right. I just said Animal Castle. Our metal covers are still available. 007 #1, the Tommy Lee Edwards Premium Metal Virgin cover, still available for $50. Project Superpowers Fractured States #1, the Gary Frank Premium Metal cover, still available, also $50.
Those metal covers are just beautiful. I mean, if you don't have a metal cover in your collection, you should get one because they feel pretty great.
And then the Star Wars books we just talked about, Star Wars Return of the Jedi Jabba's Palace #1. The Ryan Brown Virgin variant is available. We just have the one for $200. And then we have the Maliv, is that how you say it?
Maliv, yeah.
The Maliv variant cover, MSRP $65, but we have 4 of those available for $50. Oh, hi, Nick.
I haven't eaten yet.
Here we go.
I'm about to have my salmon.
Here we go.
Not having a veggie sandwich tonight, having my salmon. But you know what? I saw this beautiful, beautiful Gary Frank metal book. And this is my one Nick has not eaten lunch yet special. We'll do this for $20 instead of $100.
What?
All right, I'm gonna go eat.
$20 for a metal cover.
Steal. It's a steal.
I would snatch that up if I was somebody out there because that is a beautiful cover and it's got that dinosaur on it. Gary Frank, it's awesome. The coloring's awesome. I'm curious if Nick knows the colorist on the cover. It kind of reminds me of Brad Anderson, who usually colors Frank. Triple B's got it.
BBB.
I do want to point out, having a virgin cover alone, again, the Alex Ross Timeless stuff that's out now is great, but there's not many virgin covers you can even get for $20. Great claim. Good job, BBB. Congrats.
Real quick, Ron, hi, how are you? You just said you were back in town. Oh my gosh. How are you? I'm trying to be careful what to say on here, but we all know you've been going through a really tough time lately, but we're happy that you're here. We're always happy that you're here, and we'll always be here.
Yeah, we're thinking about you, Ron. We really are.
We have 5 more minutes until the next.
Rex and John, by the way, Neil got fired. So they're gone. They'll never be back again. They're gone. They're off the show. April Fools. Just kidding.
We can do one of the Dynamite sets. I'm trying this new thing where I'm putting together little Dynamite collections, but let's pull up the Red Sonja, Hell Sonja complete set. So it's all 4 issues.
Jordan Clark, Miriam Puglia, all 4 issues, the complete story.
So yeah, usually because it's the regular covers, they would usually be 16, but tonight we're just gonna keep it at 12. So yeah, you get you get all 4 books for $12. So I think that's nice, and yeah, you get all those beautiful different covers.
I mean, being able to get a whole.
Preston will take it. Thank you, Preston.
I'm being able to get a whole series for $12 and a full read is great.
I think EXSFFD LT came in just a smidge before.
Yep.
You're right. I'm sorry. Sometimes we see it a little too late, but sorry about that. You know what, Preston? I'm gonna see if I can make another set for y'all. Let me see what covers we have, and I'll see if I can make a second set for you. Does that sound good?
Cool. Like
that. Sometimes we still only have like a limited amount of like each copy, especially with regular covers. But I'm gonna try to see if I can make a second one for you.
So Preston, keep an eye out for that. If we can make that work.
Yeah, I'll let you know what's up. But I'll put both of you down for a set. I guess you guys jumped on that. Let me show you the other one. The Elvira and Horrorland complete set, and these are all the line art covers. Ooh. So it's each the respect. It's each cover. It's the main artist.
Which is.
But yes.
Where'd it go? John Royal and Dave Acosta. And not only is it they're all the line art there for those respective issues, but they're all movie homage. They're all horror movie homage covers. So last one's The Fly. You've got Alien #3. You've got The Shining #2. So really, we got a
Dwayne got it.
Dwayne's a pain. Claimed the Elvira.
Awesome. You claimed it before I said it was $50. Is that okay?
Guys, that may have been my fault. I did not have the correct information on the ticker, so you may want to let them know how much it was, and we'll see who wants to reclaim after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna.
But yeah, the MSRP was $120 for the Elvira set, but it's $50 total for all 5.
Does he? Who claimed that? Who was the first?
I saw Dwayne the Pain first, and then
but JD had it on. JD had it listed at 5. I think they forgot to put the 0 in. Yeah. So now that we know it's 50, let's see who wants to claim. I'll tell you this. This might be my favorite Dynamite title ever. Is Elvira and Horror. I mean, I love it, right? Because there's this. If you're not familiar with this, Elvira at the end of the Meets Vincent Price series, which might be my second favorite Dynamite series ever, she winds up going through. It's kind of like the what was that movie called? Stay Tuned, where they're going through all the different channels. She's going through all the different movies. So she's in Psycho. She's in Nightmare on Elm Street, Alien, The Fly. It's so much fun. It is absolutely great.
Hey, Preston,
Dwayne yields to Preston.
Preston, just comment you claim again, just to confirm. Now that the price is correct, just confirm that you saw the price. Just claim again. Yep, cool. Preston's good. Awesome. Thanks.
And then BBB asks if there's a second one. I will check. Okay. I'll check. BBB spoilers. I'll check to see if I can make another one, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know in the invoice. I'll let you know when I email you the invoice tomorrow. If I can make another one.
Yeah. Awesome. And Alf is right, pointing out that Elvira in Monsterland is about to be dropping, and it's another cool concept where she's like going to meet in the first issue every different kind of iteration of Dracula, right? And I love that because Dracula is my favorite, and there's so many great performances as Dracula, like Christopher Lee, Bela Lugosi, even Frank Langella has done a great one. Gerard Butler,
Universal Monsters fan, so all those guys. That's my jam.
Does Nick Cage count now?
Yes, he does. I'm so pumped for that movie. That looks so fun.
I hope it's good.
If they keep the sense of fun about it, it should be really cool. And it, as long as it's kids, like I compared it to Fright Night. If they go that route where it's funny, but at the same time don't make it too campy, and it can have the camp, but it still is like Dracula's still a little threatening, and it still has a little bit of that horror feel. They could have something really special on their hands, I think.
I hope so too. All right, it's 7. We'll take our next break, and we'll think about what we're going to go over next.
I'm excited for the second half, so get ready.
Get ready. Which Fright Night 80?
Did you know that across America there are over 2, maybe even 3 live stream producers who can't even afford Mountain Dew? Take Brian here. Brian has gone 2 weeks without a sip of Red Bull. If it goes on much longer, he may take a shower and get a real job. Situations like this are as tragic as they are preventable. Join the experience on YouTube and gain access to special emojis and members-only streams. For less than a cup of coffee, you can keep socially awkward hermit people working from their parents' basements where they belong. Scan the QR code on the screen to join. You'll be glad you did.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Did you know that across America there are over 2, maybe...
Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
And we're back real quick since we're halfway through the show. For everyone who's watching right now, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We can't do the show without you. And like whether you've been with us for a while or you're brand new, it means a lot that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on all our platforms and hit that like button, because when you hit that like button, it shows that we're doing a good job and it makes us feel good too. So we enjoy it.
And can you guys give this one a lot of likes so we can rub it in Rex and John's faces when they get back?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Give us all the likes.
But JD put in the comment, for Fright Night, 80s or 2010s? I was just telling Alex, like, I like the 2010s more than the 80s version. Am I crazy?
No, I like the 80s one the best, but I grew up with it, right? And the Fright Night's one of my favorites. I even have a soft spot for Fright Night Part 2, which is not really that good of a movie, but I was actually really impressed with the one with Colin Farrell and David Tennant. I thought that movie was way better than it deserved to be, and it doesn't get as much love as the first one. I think the new one is just as good as the original.
They updated it the right way. It felt natural. It did, because sometimes when they update something, it feels so forced, and I didn't like, look how meta we're being. It's like, no, just don't think about that. Like, just.
Yeah, I loved it because, okay, so like, you got the character of Peter Vincent, right? And that's a little bit more old school. And the idea of the horror host is kind of like, I mean, we still got like Svengoolie and stuff, but it's kind of gone away, right? So how do you update that? And at the time, Chris Angel was real big. So David Tennant's going that Chris Angel kind of route. And I love the fact that they set it in like Las Vegas suburbs, and you see the desert out there, and there's a lot of like, there's just a desolation and bleak kind of feel to suburbia in this movie that is a really cool like juxtaposition against the original. I thought they did a really, really fantastic job on the new one.
That movie's a good time.
And yeah, Anton Yelchin, R.I.P. was in that movie, so fantastic in that movie.
Heartbroken when I heard that news. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Mick Lovin is Evil Ed. I mean, come on.
That movie's a riot. It's such a good time.
But I will say that the 80s Fright Night has the better soundtrack. I will say that for sure.
80s movies usually do.
He will always, I don't even know the dude's name, JD. He's just McLovin to me, man.
There you go.
It's better than what Jason Biggs is referred to as, so it's better than that. So
we have more incentives to look at. So how about let's go with Avengers Beyond, number 1. It's the Lee Garbett variant. So MSRP would be around there it is. MSRP would be $75, but tonight we have one of them for $60. So
Derek Land, the writer. Greg Land, the art. Someone has been manipulating the Avengers for the past several months, altering the very fabric of reality in an attempt to prepare the planet for a threat that could destroy everything.
Don't you hate when that happens? Here
now, this unseen individual is to be dragged, kicking and screaming from the shadows into the light, and it's the Beyonder. So the Beyonder's back with the Avengers. It was good. It was fun. I believe it's a 6-issue going to be, but this is the 1 in 50 Lee Garbett variant. Beautiful cover. Black Panther, She-Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Blade, Captain Marvel, and Iron Man right there on the cover for you.
This book also contains a pretty big first appearance from some new cosmic being. It's like one of the only beings out there that even the Beyonders fear. And so you get his first appearance in here, and they promise that they're going to try to make this character a bigger deal. And we just recently got the news that Jonathan Hickman, who did some amazing work with the Beyonders in the Secret War series, is coming back to Marvel to do a series with I think Valerio Skiddy called Gods, where he's reorganizing all of the back giant cosmic characters. And if they utilize him and Hickman really runs with it, Hickman is a writer that the MCU really likes to pull from. The Black Order, that's Hickman. So much stuff that they've done. Secret Invasion, not Invasion, but Secret Warriors that they did on the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. That was Jonathan Hickman. The whole Hydra being in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this kind of stuff. That was Hickman. So Hickman's ideas get pulled. Now, I'm not saying this is a Hickman idea, but if he develops this further in his God series or something like that, definitely something. So there you go.
Everything Hickman X-Men has been crazy. It's so good. So everything's drawn from that. So when the X-Men come to the MCU, they're probably going to deal with what's going on in the comics, Hickman's run. So to have Hickman do Gods and to do a truly cosmic, like remember when Annihilation came out and what that did for the Marvel space and the cosmic? I think this is going to be just like that, but even more, because this is Gods. I mean, will we have the one above all? Are we going to see Stan Lee and Jack Kirby again? Are we? I mean, I think you have to. Like, I'm very excited for this. Hickman is great, and it all comes out of Avengers Beyond. So this Beyonder, who knows what they're going to do with the story or how they're going to change the universe up. But that new character is definitely going to be a major player in the cosmic future.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Now, the variant that got shown for a hot second was Multiversity Harley Screws Up the DCU #1, and this is the Chad Harden variant. Now, this is 1 out of 50 variant, so it would usually be like 110 MSRP, but tonight it's just for 100, and there's 4 of these. So if anyone's really interested, they're 100 each, and we have 4 of them.
This is a Flash 123 Flash of True Worlds homage cover. So you know that Nick wants one. So you guys have to get it before Nick gets it, because Nick definitely wants one.
He'll take all of them.
I'm sure he will. But this cover, one of the best Flash covers of all time. But this story, it's basically Harley Quinn is Deadpool, and she goes back in the past. She messes things up, and this is going to be a crazy, fun, emphasis on fun story arc. I read this today, and I loved it. I'm not a huge Harley Quinn reader. I'm not a Harley Quinn reader. But you don't even know anything about Harley's backstory. It's just as long as you know who her as a character, what she is, you will enjoy this series. I'm very excited.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the very rambunctiously fun, bouncy Harley books with all of the intensity of the DC multiverse, it's all thrown in there together, written very well by fellow Yankee fan Frank Thierry. So, got to give Frank a shout.
Did you say we had 4 of them?
Nick, go back. No, you're not allowed to have any.
Um,
They're for our incredible viewers out there.
But
Anyway,
as a variant cover alone, this will check all your Flash boxes. Okay, that's probably the most homaged Flash cover. So there are definitely collectors that collect all Flash 123s. So not even from the Harley standpoint, the Flash cover is great, but putting Harley in there and having Frank Thierry just writing it so well, and having Logan Fairbur's art, it was fun. It was fun. That's the best thing I can do, is just say this book was fun to read.
double checking our list now. We're bringing back another variant we had recently. It's Amazing Spider-Man #21. And it's the Weaver instead of variant cover. It's the 1 out of 25. There it is.
Dustin Weaver.
MSRP is $40, but we're just going to have it at 20 tonight. We have one of these available for $20 tonight. So if you missed out on it last time, You got another chance tonight.
That's under ratio. That is under ratio. This is the 1 in 25, only for $20. Dustin Weaver cover. Spidey 21, which is Legacy 915. You got Romita Jr. art inside. You've got Dustin Weaver on the cover. A nice Spider-Man. Some yellow gold eyes. Very nice.
Yeah, part of his new costume developed by Norman Osborn. Some interesting things going on in the Spider-Man books right now. But I'm a big Dustin Weaver fan, and I love his interpretation of Spidey. Spidey's sitting there on the wall, super relaxed. He's got his little Spidey bot there. And how cool is it to have a cover of Spider-Man from someone named Weaver, right? How often does that happen? It's the whole reason why Mark Webb got to make those Amazing Spider-Man movies, because it had nothing to do with his talent to make a Spider-Man movie. Did I say
Only
that?
reason why. But again, 1 in 25, Dustin Weaver variant, priced under ratio. $20.
It's a steal, guys. All right. Back to the newer variants we have. We have 2 versions of Unstoppable Doom Patrol number 1. We'll start off with the 125 Culver variant. So MSRP would be $45, but tonight we're just going to have it for $30. So yeah, Unstoppable Doom Patrol number 1. Yes, the Culver variant.
The world's strangest heroes are back in the DC universe. After the events of Lazarus Planet, more people than ever have active metagenes. Most of these new metahumans have become misfits, shunned and imprisoned by a fearful society. They are hidden away in the dark, lost to a system that only sees them as weapons or guinea pigs, ticking time bombs that can only be defused by the Unstoppable Doom Patrol. So, first is the 1 in 25 Dennis Culver cover, which is great. It has a whole team, but it has a brand new character of Beast Girl.
Beast Girl.
I believe that's her name. Let me double check.
Yeah, Beast Girl. Also, the white Doomsday looking dude is. I think this is his first appearance as well. I believe.
Yes. I say Beast Girl though because in the opening credits it specifically says and introducing Beast Girl. But technically, this is her first cover as well. 1 in 25 Dennis Culver, who actually is the writer also.
Yeah, and this book, y'all, I'm not lying. This book is awesome. This was my pick of the week last week. I had so much fun with this book. I love Doom Patrol, and it was the Grant Morrison run. There's the Rachel Pollack stuff and the Gerard Way stuff, right? This goes right in line with that. So even if you're only a fan of the Morrison stuff or the Way stuff, you can jump in. If you've never read Doom Patrol, you can jump in right here. If you're a fan of the TV series, this is perfect. It's in that vein. It has the weirdness, and it's got a very firm connection to the DC universe that doesn't feel forced. I adored this issue. I'm looking forward to this series.
I mean, there was already a Doom Patrol show before James Gunn took over. And now that James Gunn is there, probably not round 1, but if you think he's not going to use Doom Patrol, like, they're great characters. He's definitely going to find a way to do something with them down the line. And having a new character introduced in this series, they'll probably use this team because they used the old team in the current show. So to keep it fresh, they'll probably switch the teams up, and they'll probably get this team. So I recommend this pickup for the first appearance of some of these characters.
Yeah, don't forget that James Gunn had said James Gunn is very active, not just with the movies and shows that are coming up, but with making sure that the brand is all aligned together, whether it's video games, animation, or comics, he said. So with this whole new Dawn of DC thing, it is not a coincidence that Dawn of DC is happening with these new number 1s and these new writers and artists on these familiar characters or new characters. It's not a coincidence this is happening at the same time as the Gunn Safran takeover, for sure.
Now, if you want a different title for Doom Patrol, we have how do you say their name? Zerdy?
I think it's a Nathan Zerdy.
The Nathan Zerdy foil variant.
This
is the 1 in 50.
I want to physically show this book to the camera.
Okay. But that was the picture right there. But yeah, the beautiful foil variant.
Elastigirl. Beast Girl. This cover is beautiful. This cover is absolutely beautiful. The foil covers are so good. 1 in 50. Elasti-Woman with Beast Girl. So This would probably be the Beast Girl cover to get because it's the high ratio. Everyone's picking up the regular ones. So I recommend, if you want long-term spec hype for Doom Patrol, this is the cover to get.
And MSRP's $90, but tonight we have it for $75. We have one available for $75. Our final variant available for tonight is Venom Lethal Protector 2, number 1. And let's do the 125 variant first. The wraparound variant. There you go. So this is do you know how to say their name? I want to say it right.
The 125 is where is it? Venom LP. Pasquale Qualando is the artist. Paola Siqueira.
The cover artist.
Yeah, Paola Siqueira is the cover artist.
So MSRP is 60, but tonight we're going to have 40. But this is the instead we have the most available. We have 12.
12 of these.
We have 12 of these with us. So whoever wants one, they're 40 each.
It's a wraparound cover. So you can buy 2 and have them back to back, see the whole cover. But I love this because Dave Michelini is back writing Venom Lethal Protector again. That alone, Venom's co-creator Dave Michelini should bring you back in to get this book. Great Eddie Brock story versus Doom. That's all I'm going to say. Brock versus Doom. So, Lethal Protector. This is volume 2, technically. I definitely recommend. I mean, anything Dave Michelini writes Venom is great. So, if you like Venom, buy the original creator.
Yeah, definitely a throwback to the original run by him and that 90s kind of flair and feel. And I'm very surprised that we never got, in all of those Venom miniseries, which I adore, we never got one with him and Silver Sable teaming up. And that's what they're doing here. And it's almost like the lost Venom book from the 90s, right?
And I mean, it is, but it's not drawn like that. You don't have the Venom tongue like that. You don't have the Larson tongue. You've got Michelini doing it like he did it to start.
Don't worry, Ron. We didn't miss the CCAs. Let's just show off the last Venom cover, and then we'll jump into them.
So on top of the 125.
Yes, the 100, the Ross variant.
This is the one that everybody wants because it's Alex Ross, timeless virgin sketch variant, 1 in 100. Everybody is getting all these timeless covers. But not everybody is getting the rare sketch covers.
And guess what? There's 3 of these available tonight.
Alex Ross is doing a CGC signing, private signing. So buy these books, send them in, get them signed.
So yeah, MSRP is $240, but tonight each one's just going to be $200. But yeah, Alex Ross. Yeah, name one bad image he's ever done.
Nothing. Yeah. And his sketches are very fun because they're not photorealistic because he does that as he goes into it. Mm-hmm. So seeing the sketches, which are a lot rarer, it's a unique insight into Alex Ross's penciling style because you can see how different it looks. Now, if you read Fantastic Four Life Story recently, you know that his style changed a little bit from photorealistic, the more Kirby-esque realism and Ditko-esque in that series. But just seeing Alex Ross pencils, which you don't see a lot, they're so much fun to look at because you're looking at the pre-photorealism and you're seeing what he does to get his layouts done. And they're drastically different. So this would look really good even next to the photorealistic one of the regular version of this.
Plus, you don't see Alex Ross do Venom very often, right? And that makes this extra special for me. I'm a huge Venom mark, and he's got the Larson tongue, which I'm a big fan of. So there you go. Just needs more slobber and slime on it.
Yeah. But I know that all the timeless stuffs have been selling out. So all the sketch covers have been going really fast because you think about, everybody is because the regular covers are open order and cover Bs, which are non-incentives. Everyone can get those. So these are going to be where the real bottleneck is because stores still have to order 100 copies just to get the sketch, let alone being able to get a sketch in high grade.
Edward, when do we start talking about food, sports, and news ranting? Sorry, Edward, you're just gonna have to wait until Rex and John come back. if they ever come back.
Oh no, I'll tell you this. When I was in Orlando, I ate at a Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips. Best fish and chips in my life. They were amazing. And the people that worked there said they had to go to Washington to train to have the gig. It was so delicious, y'all.
I'll do a little sports. It's not sports, but it's sports entertainment. WrestleMania was this weekend, and night 1 was amazing. Night 2 was good. But WWE
I've heard that same thing from everybody, is that everybody was like, oh, night 1 was great. Night 2, yeah, it happened. A lot of people weren't down with it last night, I guess.
And for the news, we have sketch covers available. Those are some good news.
Yeah, we got to get into these for Ron. Ron really wants to see them. So, all right. First up, we'll do Flash number 39, and this is from Joe Delbiato and Mariano Nicieza, and it's Batman versus Joker. Beautiful cover sketch. Look at that.
Drawn in the Bruce Timm style. You have Batman punching Joker. Guys, this is a real sketch cover. It's a 1 of 1. This is literally the only one of these in existence.
Now, while we usually be 19 or hang on, but like let me rephrase that. MSRP is $99.99, but tonight this is huge. We have it for $19.99. So someone better take
stop. $20 for a sketch cover?
Yeah.
Not only is that price ridiculous, this is like the best one I've seen from Del Beato and Nicieza, and they've done some good ones for this show, but this is the best one I've ever seen, and it's astounding me that this is only $20.
You can't get a sketch done, let alone a color sketch, let alone 2 full-body figures for $20. Like at a convention, that's probably a $250 piece.
Don't ask me how I talked Nick into it. Like it was.
That is $20 for that. That is incredible.
I might be hungry.
Just the bam.
Wrong. Did you just say 20?
I said $19.99. Isn't that when Brave and the Bold came out?
It was supposed to be 99. You know how we do 99, then 19? The year it came out, like we've done 62 for 1962 for Spider-Man. So guess we just sold it for $19.99 because I'm pretty sure somebody claimed it.
We had a lot of people try to claim it. Spilio got it first, it seems like.
It happens. It's all good.
Congratulations, John.
Congratulations, John.
I don't want to sit on eBay tomorrow, so
I don't think we have to worry about that with John.
You know what's funny is that I met John this week. John's such a cool dude. He had nothing but great things to say about you guys. And he told me, he's like, yeah, I'll be there to watch, but after MegaCon, I'm not going to buy anything. And then here he comes claiming the Flash CCA.
I guess he was saving his money for the good stuff.
Yeah, right? Hey.
We love throwing in surprises.
Exactly. I think Amy did it on purpose just to see if I'd notice. Maybe.
Smash that like button!
Speaking of smashing, we have a Hulk number 1 and a Superman number 1, also from Joe Delbiato and Mariano Nicieza, and yes, connecting covers. These have been really popular lately. So you want a Hulk versus Superman? Usually, MSRP is $149.99, but tonight we have it for $75 because it's 2 books.
These are great. The Hulk is drawn in John Buscema style, and Superman is drawn in the classic Max Fleischer cartoon style from the 40s. And like having these two together in this connecting cover, beautiful. I mean, when these two fight, you know, it's always a question of who's going to win. But seeing them together in this cover, I mean, the colors are beautiful. They're nice. They're bright. I definitely recommend this.
Like I can picture it as a giant wall-like movie.
This is gonna be on someone's wall together just like this, and it's gonna be Superman versus the Hulk.
I'll tell you what, Superman's got some bad aim on this one, man. He must have been going to the Empire Stormtrooper school here.
I know.
He's like 1 foot away from Hulk and completely misses him.
Would Hulk even be hurt by that, by his laser eyes, or no? Like, would he?
It depends on how bad Superman is. The matter Superman gets, the stronger his heat vision, right? So the matter Superman gets, the stronger his heat vision is, right? Isn't that how it works?
I'm not the expert on Superman.
Superman will
because it's Hulk.
Hulk's
one matter. Okay.
No, yes, but theoretically though, it will be the amount of solar energy saved in Superman's body that he's willing to convert to things. But either way, I do not believe the I-beams would do anything to Hulk. Darkseid's I-beams, on the other hand, might be a little different story. But
no one can stop the Omega sanction. I really like JD's comments here that Superman's just trying to overcook a ribeye, and Hulk's like not going to have that.
Hulk's like, me want this well done.
Oh, goodness.
But again, 2 one-of-one sketch covers. These are the only ones in existence. They are real sketch, real art for you. Tonight, only $75 for the pair. Which, again, comes down to less than $40 for a sketch. And to get a full-body sketch like that.
All right. Before its next commercial, we have the final commission cover art tonight. And it's Batman Spawn #1. And it's a Batman Spawn combo sketch from our good friend Ken Hazer. Love his work. Now this would be MSRP $9.99, and then we're just gonna have it for $50 tonight.
You know, we love Ken Hazer here. We love Batman. We love Spawn, and I love this because this is what Batman looks like when his Spawn sense is tingling.
I mean, that's a good cover. I mean, I like the half and half. Plus, I mean, I think the sketch cover they did for this Batman Spawn, it's a blank, but it's not a white blank. It's a like dirty gray blank, as you see. I think it adds a lot of grittiness to Batman Spawn. I think it makes the cover even better than an actual blank cover.
All right, Ron's gonna take the Hulk and Superman.
If you want, Ron, I'll send you a third cover with the ribeye that was being cooked. Then you can put it all together.
It's charred. But again, Batman Spawn #1. It's just, I mean, the story alone. It's the third time these characters have met. It's McFarlane and Capullo together writing this and drawing it. I mean, this was definitely a good. Now it should have been longer. That's the only thing. This book should have been longer. But this beautiful sketch cover has Best of Both Worlds, Batman and Spawn, for $50. That's $25 a head.
Yeah, my favorite thing was seeing Capullo come back to do some Spawn work because his Spawn, like, we all love McFarlane, but when McFarlane's inking Greg Capullo in particular, that's the match made in heaven for Spawn for me.
Batman, Bat Spawn. Yeah, I like that. Bat Spawn.
Bat Spawn. Oh, I thought that was Damian Wayne. Bat Spawn.
Well done. Oh wow! Like there's still one more book left. Let's do that. We'll do the last Dynamite book, and then when we get back, we'll do the next Amy Aftermath for what's still available. So real quick, Dynamite Lives #1 is available, and it's signed by Fred Van Lente. The MSRP is $49.99, and tonight we have it for $25.
Look at that cover.
Killer.
Look at that cover. I mean, the signature alone in red in a perfect spot on the art with the red dye and lives on top. I mean, that color is perfect in the perfect spot on that book. It's just awesome. That's just a great.
Is that Ash on the cover?
I don't want to say it, but I don't know many other people that have an arm like that. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying Ash has been getting jacked. He's been in the gym working out that back. Look at that. What is going on there? Wow. I like it.
I mean, real makes anybody look good.
Right? It makes everybody so lumpy and shiny. It's great.
But yes, that is available tonight for $25. So we'll take our final break, and then when we come back, we'll do the Amy Aftermath. Woo! Woo!
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find a link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
What if Hans Gruber from Die Hard had to battle the Joker from Batman the Animated Series in a dance battle? Or who would win in a race between Baby from Baby Driver and Snidely Whiplash? If Austin Powers and Shrek found themselves in a hot dog eating contest, who would emerge victorious? These are the questions we talk about on Nerd Killer Warfare. Debate the most absurd questions you've ever heard in popular culture. Register now by scanning the QR code or visiting bit.ly/EXP casting.
We're back. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
That's like right. People for the first hot second. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is, just behind the books. But yeah. So yes, we actually got through everything. So, because that's what happens when I'm here. We actually get through the entire list. But we're gonna walk through one more time whatever didn't sell. And if you guys need an extra look at something, just let us know.
Yeah, if there's something you guys want to see more clearly, please let us know because we'll happily show it to you in picture perfect clarity.
All right, so yeah, so still available. Flash number 750, signed in silver by Josh Williamson.
Out of 30.
MSRP $69.99, and tonight we have it for 5-star at $50. So this is still available. Fantastic cover. So, and then Deja Thoris #1 Atlas Signature Edition, signed by Amy Chu. MSRP $29.99, and tonight we have it for $19.12. Still available. Can't get enough of that cover. Amazing Spider-Man #21, the Weaver incentive variant, 1 in 25. So do you want to explain ratios a little bit better?
Yes. People have been asking what a ratio is. So, where is the Spider-Man? So this is an example. This is a 1 in 25 ratio variant. What that means is the store has to order 25 copies of the regular cover just to be able to order one copy of this cover. So that means that for every 25 copies the store orders of one, they can buy this one. So not every store is going to order 25 copies of a book, let alone 50 copies or 100 copies. So usually when something is 1 in 25, obviously the prices change, but it doesn't usually sell for under the price of that ratio. So if this is a 1 in 25, usually they're around $25. For it to be priced under that, $20 or under, is a rarity because these stores have to spend X amount of money and get X amount of books to be able to order that book. So it's usually built into their ordering how much they're charging for that, because if you're ordering 1,000 copies of something to get the 1 in 1,000, it might be pretty hard to sell 1,000 copies of one book very quickly. By selling the high ratio variant quicker, it allows the store to make most of their money back on that one big book and then sell the other books a little bit slower and then be good. So when you see a 1 in 50, 1 in 100, just know that they're a lot rarer because the stores have to order at least that many copies to get that one book. And those books, while they should be packed well, are not always packed perfectly. So that's why 9/8, higher grades on those books, can be worth a lot of money. Yes, manufactured scarcity is the word to use.
So yeah, and again, this Spider-Man is MSRP $40, but tonight we have it for $20. We have one available for $20. And then our other beautiful Deja Thoris cover, we have John Carter of Mars, signed by Joseph Michael Linsner. Beautiful, beautiful cover. MSRP $49.99, and we have the one available for, again, $19.12. So before break, we showed this off, Dynamite Lives, #1. Again, signed by Fred Van Lente in the corner right there. MSRP $49.99, available for $25 tonight.
Again, all these are signed with, these are signed with COAs. Again, imagine how much it would cost to go to a convention that they're at, wait in lines, have to deal with all this just to get their signature, get back home and all the traffic, and make sure the book gets, traveling well. In this case, we've got the book, great condition, with the COA, ready to go right to you.
And then the last CCA that's available is Batman Spawn #1, Bat Spawn, with the Batman Spawn combo sketch from Ken Hazer. MSRP is $99.99, and tonight we have it at 5-star, $4.50. Awesome.
Yeah, what's really cool is that this is what Spawn looks like when his bat sense is tingling.
Well done. And the slab book that's still available is Animal Castle #1, CGC graded 9.8, MSRP $89.99, and tonight we have it for $69.99. We have the one available for $69.99.
A slabbed 9.8, already good, ready to go. And again, I think this has a lot of legs to grow, because I think if they announce any show or anything based on this, this is a good property that can be developed. So I definitely think this is a good potential future spec book.
And so you said you read it. So is the idea of this book kind of like Animal Farm, but like in a medieval setting or something?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
Basically, yes. I honestly only read issue 1, so I didn't continue with the story. But that's how kind of it felt with issue 1. Definitely more adult. I don't mean adult like inappropriate, but like more adult themes. More something that makes you think, and more than just what's on the page. It wants you to think about and analyze.
Animal Castle.
They should do a Spawn Batman movie. That would be one heck of rights to be able to clear that.
Don't they have to reboot Spawn first?
They've been trying to reboot Spawn for 20 years. So,
movie-wise, I know the comics are doing well, but I know the movie wasn't very well received.
Animal Farm 2, Animal Harm.
Animal
Farm 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's just the go-to subtitle for every #2. Boogaloo. But okay. The metal book that's still available.
It was what CJ said. It cost you $50+ a book. Well, yes, you have to pay for grading fees, but shipping costs there and shipping costs back at a minimum of $20 each. You're already at $75, and here's a slab 9.8 ready to go right to you.
There you go. So yes, still available. 007 #1, the Tommy Lee Edwards premium metal virgin cover. MSRP $100 tonight. It's half price at $50.
Metal cover, beautiful book.
And then the incredible incentives we have available tonight. We have Avengers Beyond #1, 150 variant from Lee Garbett. Usually the MSRP would be $75, but tonight we have it for $60.
Again,
great cover.
First appearance of a new cosmic godlike character.
Yes, so your first look. And then we have Multiversity Harley Screws Up the DCU #1, the Chad Harden variant, 150. MSRP is 110. But we have 4 available, but they're 100. They're 100 each. So if you really want one, you can snag one for 100. And again, the homage cover to one of the most famous Flash cover, probably.
And especially books like this, where it's a Harley book, but it's also like an event book. Harley's going back in time and doing things up. This is, if you've read The Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, or Deadpool, kills Deadpool, all this fun stuff, these books are fun reads and really cool takes on these characters. So they definitely have staying power, especially with an homage cover like this.
Real quick, have you guys been seeing on Twitter, they're filming Joker 2 in New York right now, and we've been seeing Lady Gaga and her version of Harley Quinn. I'm so excited.
It's a good time to be a Harley Quinn fan.
I love her so much. Lady Gaga specifically, but I'm just excited. She's been getting all these killer roles, and this quite literally could be a killer role.
I think she'll be the breakout star of that movie. Like I think, like, to the point where as great as Margot Robbie is, and Margot Robbie is incredible, I think it's not gonna be Margot Robbie Hughes, but it's gonna be like the angry girlfriend meme. It's like Margot Robbie, Lady Gaga.
Oh,
like I think this is gonna be a whole new, crazy, fun version to fit in that universe.
Robbie, what do you think?
I am excited to see what they're going to do with the movie. I like the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and to do something with that tone, but different, because it's rumored that this one's kind of like a musical, right? And to see that be done, it makes me think, because obviously Todd Phillips, who did the first Joker movie, that last Joker movie, is a big Scorsese fan. So I wonder if he's taking like that New York approach, where it's like old school Hollywood, but still like set in the gritty, grim world of the, that movie felt like it was fit in like the 70s or something. Like Taxi Driver meets King of Comedy is what it was. So I'm really excited to see what they do. And Lady Gaga, I think she's incredibly talented and very low. Yeah.
She's a star.
I also don't think the first movie, I mean, it's a generic enough movie that it didn't have to be a Batman or DC movie at all. So it just was. So I'm excited to see what DC elements they throw into the second movie to basically make it feel more like a DC. It's still going to be Elseworlds. We don't need to have Superman flying around and Batman, but let's have,
Sorry, Thomas Bishop, but we're excited about this.
Let's have some more Gotham references if that's where it is. Or let's have some more like deep cuts. Let's see a Red Hood. Let's see something that makes this movie feel more DC than the first version.
But that's how they make it an awards movie. If it doesn't feel like a comic book movie, even though it technically is a comic book movie, it people look into it. But I know that's a conversation for another day.
There's a difference between a comic book movie and cinema, and Joker was cinema, right?
Yes. The Joker was like...
Things can be both.
Like, just like The Dark Knight was a good movie that happened to be about Batman, the Joker is a gritty movie that happens to have a character that could be in a DC movie.
Yeah. Like, Rex always says, the problem with the Joker movie is that it didn't have to be the Joker. It could have been anybody. I'm like, yeah, but then that's just King of Comedy. Right. And so like, I really love that take on the Joker. And I know the movie's got some splits out there with how people feel about it, but I really like it. And I want the second one to stay more like Scorsese, gritty. I want it to stay that way. And I want to see it have a little bit more pop and flair with the addition of Harley Quinn. I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like. I really, really am.
I'm excited. I'm very much excited. So, all right, let's wrap up these incentive recaps. So,
are there any books that anybody wants to see in better images? I guess.
Or really close up.
Really close up. Is there anything anyone's looking for on this wall they want to see it better?
Otherwise, we'll go over the Star Wars books again. We'll give it a couple more seconds because of the lag. I'm happy to see more people coming in with Ron and Creative Keep and Lyle. Good to see you guys. All right. Otherwise, so Star Wars. We have a Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace #1. The Ryan Brown Virgin variant was his 1 out of 100, and it's the full MSRP. We have to keep it at 200.
BBB said Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah, we can bring up Spider-Man again real quick. The Spider-Man, the Weaver incentive variants. We'll bring that up again real quick. The MSRP was 40, and then we have it tonight for 20.
But again, $20, which is under the ratio. You had to order 25 copies of the regular just to get this copy. So most stores were probably priced to start at $25. But this is issue 915 Legacy, issue 21, Dustin Weaver variant cover.
And then Ron, the metal cover we have available, that's still available, is the 007 #1, the Tommy Lee Edwards cover. It's the metal cover. Tonight it's available for $50.
BBB, which do you claim? You claim the Spider-Man?
He asked about Spider-Man, so it's cool. Spider-Man. I gotcha. All right. BBB. Excellent claim.
And then Ron, Ron, the 007 book is beautiful. Like I said, I think this could literally be a cover of an Ian Fleming novel with the trade dress cut off. Like it's that style. It doesn't feel. I mean, it feels 60s, I guess. It feels 60s.
And then the other cover we have for Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace #1 is the Mali variant, 125. That MSRP is $65, but tonight we have it for $50, and we have 4 available. So if you really want one, it's $50 each.
Again, Alex Maleev cover, Boba Fett, Mr. Fett, Bob A. Fett on the cover, $25. And that's sorry, 125 variant, Boba Fett.
And then we have our 2 Unstoppable Doom Patrol covers. First up, we have the 1-in-25 Culver variant cover. MSRP is $45, but tonight we have it at $30. And I forgot to mention this earlier. There's 2 available. If 2 people really want one, they're $30 each.
Remember, new team, new first appearances, new story arc.
And then the other variant we have is the Zerdy, correct?
Zerdy, yeah.
The Zerdy foil variant, the 1-in-50 MSRP would usually be $90, but tonight we have it for $75, and we just have the 1 available.
Keep in mind, remember, this is foil, so it shines beautifully, and that is a nice, basically almost a Good Girl Elasti-Woman cover with Beast Girl. And again, because this is the first appearance, the ratio covers are going to be the covers to have for these.
And then, last but most certainly not least, our 2 Venom covers. Venom Lethal Protector Part 2. Is it just 2? Venom Lethal Protector 2, Volume 2.
It's Volume 2. It's not stylized Volume 2. It's just Lethal Protector, but it is Volume 2.
Okay. Venom Lethal Protector, but as far as Volume 2 goes, it's #1, and the first one we have was the 125s.
Palo
Sequera, the wraparound variant. MSRP is $60, and this is the variant we have most available tonight. We have like 12 copies, and they're $40 each, so a bunch of you guys can get one for $40 each. And then the Ross variant, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The 1-in-100 Ross Sketch Virgin variant.
Again, probably the hardest book to get of all the ratios we have, because again,
we have it for $200 tonight.
Everyone is ordering the timeless stuff. So many of these 1-in-100 variants are already being claimed by customers at stores. So when they come in, they're not even making it to their store's wall because they have a customer that's already asked for these. So we have 1 available now as a sketch. It's beautiful.
Whew, and that is the Amy Aftermath. Oh, JD's asking you, Robbie, are you still doing your horror movie show? That's tonight?
No, we do PCP Movie Night, which is not particularly based on horror films on Mondays, but we're off tonight because just getting back from MegaCon. But next week, we'll be talking about the Sylvester Stallone absolute cinema classic, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. So that's going to be a good, fun conversation. And then, the horror show, though, on Dylan's horror show this upcoming Saturday, they'll be talking about Critters 1 and 2. So that should be a cool double feature.
Creative Keep, this Alex Ross Timeless is not a CCA. It is just a regular printed sketch cover. But again, it is the sketch cover of his realistic style. So they're going to look very different, but very appropriate next to the regular version of that.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to say one thing, speaking of horror and Dynamite and all that stuff. So we are in the last few days of the Reanimator by Cullen Bunn and Blackie Shepherd. There's exclusive covers galore. There's an exclusive cover with me on it, which I think is really gnarly and cool. So everybody, you still just got a few days. I think there's 4 days left to snatch a copy of this up. You're not going to want to miss this Dynamite Reanimator Rockin' Robbie classic. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Aren't there like a few more like new horror movies coming out this month, Robbie?
Evil Dead Rise is out this month. Very excited for that. And Renfield is out this month. I'm excited for that.
That earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about that, but I'm really pumped for Evil Dead Rise. It looks really good, and it looks like it's getting back into like the horror element of the first one, and I'm really, really into that.
Well, there's a great horror movie coming out this Wednesday that I'm very excited about. It's going to be horror to see Chris Pratt voice Mario.
Oh, wow, I think the movie's going to be huge.
I stretch for that a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I think the few reviews I've heard so far were pretty good.
No, I think the movie's actually going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be fun, a lot of fun. That being said, to not hear Charles Martinet's voice as Mario is just like
it is crazy. It is crazy that first teaser that they showed, and it sounds like he's just like Mushroom Kingdom. Here we go.
Sounds like Linda from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, exactly. JD, those Rockin' Robbie CCAs are in the works, my friend. Yes. Now I know why Ken Hazer's like, hey, give me some more time.
Like whenever we think of it, I like to ask people like if there are certain CCAs that they would like to see that we can ask Ken, we can ask Joe and Mariano to make them. But if there's any special requests for certain commission cover arts, we write them down, and Rex keeps better track of it than I do.
How about Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Toad? That could be cool.
There's no Waluigi.
I mean, who out there would like to see Captain America? Who would like to see a Captain America blank with Mario dressed as Captain America? I think that would be absolutely cool.
There's an idea.
Hey, they had all the Disney homages the past month and a half, so what's wrong with Mario homages?
As much as I love the Disney homages, they put them on a cover where it's like...
They put them on the wrong book.
Yeah.
Why am I buying...
Fantastic Four. No, it's Amazing Spider-Man.
Why am I buying a Spidey 21 at a cover that says Avengers 4 homage? It has nothing to do with anything in the book. Like, that's the one thing they dropped. I get why they did it on Spider-Man because it's their biggest title. But they really dropped the ball on that.
I want Amy as Captain Marvel rescuing Rex from the raft. Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen myself on a cover yet. Like, I guess, that's we're planting the idea now.
I have
as much as I love Captain Marvel, I'd rather be Scarlet Witch.
Would that be your first cover?
I
had a sketch cover done of me once. I had Walt Simonson draw me on a cover at a convention.
Wow.
It's the greatest piece of art I have in my entire collection. It's the greatest thing. That image might be on my tombstone, but like that is it's not officially published, but it was a sketch and it's my favorite.
When I was at the Frank Miller panel, he mentioned that Walt Simonson was the artist that he learned the most from, especially when they shared time at his studio back in the 70s, I think. And I've met Walt and now Frank, so that's freaking cool. Speaking of being published on a cover,
yes,
everybody needs to snatch up this Reanimator Eternal Lie Book 2 by Cullen Bunn, Blackie Shepherd, with me on the cover, available on Kickstarter exclusively right now.
Anything else we got to plug?
That's a good question.
We do have. I'm sorry. We do have.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we do have general disorder with a different Jen tonight. Miss Jen is taking over the reins coming up at the top of the hour, and then after that, it is producer Kyle with hot takes.
All right.
Awesome.
So I guess in the last few minutes that we have do we need to look at another book for anyone? We can bring it up real quick. Because like we did the Amy Aftermath like at like 7:30 when we came back on. Can we get the link for the Kickstarter? Mm-hmm. Robbie, do we have a link available for that Kickstarter?
Working on it now. I got to get it in.
Okay. But I think tonight went pretty well.
I'm happy.
So guys, are we better than Rex and John?
I hope you guys enjoyed me.
Yes, thanks for coming on. When did Nick ask you to come in? Like, was it like today or like over the
Thursday?
Thursday,
so
okay.
I'm like, oh god, okay.
But you had the time to prepare. That's
good. No. He messaged me. He messaged me yesterday. He's like, here are these books. I'm like, all right, let's get to work. So I made up a list of everything. I got my notes. Look at all these notes I have for these books.
I always admire someone who's prepared, and that means a lot.
I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on with the book. Who's writing the book, who's drawing the book, the cover, anything that's happening, any cool things. I mean, I love love this stuff. So any information I can pass on to you guys, like the more knowledge, the better, because we all get smarter.
That is true. So Mario crossover covers. I'll wrote that down. We'll bring it up. And yes, thanks for putting up your Kickstarter link. So in case anyone missed it, it is in the chat. And if you guys still fill out your form, please fill out your form. So that link should be available too. So, but yeah, guys, it really is important because again, I get your name, your shipping info, your email, ways to contact you in case I have a question about something, or if you need to ask us about something.
TJ, don't even get me started on Bowser Ray Bill. That is, I'm gonna.
I'll write that down right now.
I gotta go make a phone call and.
But yeah, him with Thor's hammer, that's a good idea. Thor's hammer, him with the shield.
John, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mario, the true god of hammers.
Guys, look at these books. These books could still be yours. If you change your mind
last couple
at
of minutes.
all. Again.
Or if you're watching this later, email me or Rex to see if a certain book is still available and we'll hook you up.
Yeah, if you're watching this in the future, which your time is the present and our time is the future, these books may still be available. You just gotta ask, find out.
Just gotta ask and find out. This is where okay. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Robbie, for being here. Check out Pop Culture Philosophers. It's a great channel. Like, are you and Rex talking this Friday?
Yeah, we should be talking this Friday. What about? I don't know, but we'll see if James Gunn does something. So
we'll see if James does something, and if I feel like it, I'll pop in to voice my opinion. But as always, again, Robbie, thank you for being here. Thank you, Alex, for being here. Thank you guys all for joining us. It was a great show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot that you spend this time with us, and we love you all. Love you all, and thank you, JD, for being a great producer. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good night.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.